Welcome, I'm Elizabeth Capoletti, licensed marriage and family therapist. Today I want to talk to you about friendship, relationships. Now, I know that a lot of times we end up in friendships just kind of by convenience sometimes, or people we just connect with and seem to have a great time with. Lately in my practice, it has been coming up with some pretty amazing people that I've been working with, and when we start to talk about their friends, we've come to find that they aren't really the best friends that they thought that they were. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because who we spend time with and who our friends are affects who we are, it affects how we feel about ourselves, it affects how we handle stressful situations and life, how we move through life, okay? It's so important. We were not meant to go through this life by ourselves, okay? Put us in isolation is like the worst thing possible for us, okay? So I want, just as it's important for somebody to think about choosing like specific things that are important to them when they choose a mate, which I'll have another thing about this if you haven't thought about that. I think it's really, really important, I know it's really important to also be aware of these things with friends. Now, I went through certain periods of my life too that I had to take a look at this. And, people around me who I thought were my friends, but the more that I stopped to think about it, there were people that I were going out and partying with, but they weren't really my friends. They didn't know what was going on inside of me, inside my heart, and what was just troubling me, or what difficulties I was having. And sometimes to even bring it up, they like sweep it under the rug. That's not a friend. So one thing I would encourage you to do, that I've been encouraging some of my clients, is to kind of make a list of important qualities to have in a friend. And I literally want you to do this. Take out a piece of paper or take out your phone. I like the little notes tab. And write different qualities that are important. You can think about maybe people that are in your life, friends, that you like certain qualities about them. Like, I have fun with them. That's important, okay? It is an important piece, but it's not everything. It's kind of like if you're finding a partner and I'm attracted to the person. Okay, well, that's great. Like, I don't know about you, but in the past I've been attracted to the wrong person, okay? So, wrong people in the past. So we're gonna make a list. So the list is gonna include things like, if you think about friendships that you currently have or have had in the past that you really, really like certain aspects about. You can also maybe characters on TV or movies that you've seen, that things that really stand out to you as important. You can also look at the things in ways people have hurt you, and if it's something like maybe they haven't been loyal to you, maybe they stabbed your back, or is that what the saying is? Yeah. So you got stabbed in the back by them, and basically they betrayed you. So maybe then we flip that to a positive, and that would be, you want somebody who's going to be loyal, right? Or you have somebody who like basically lies to your face. Not a good friend, okay? So that's somebody who's honest. Now, then there's also some friends who are so brutally honest, it hurts you. They're like, you look horrible. Like, okay, well, gee, thanks. That doesn't make me feel good. So maybe also empathetic and kind and caring and sensitive. So these are important things. So I'm going to tell you a couple that are important to me. And as I've gone with some of my clients, and I'm pointing across from you because I have a couch over there that I meet with many of my clients. Some are kind, loving, supportive, non-judgmental. Sometimes we have friends that are very judgmental, and believe me, if they're sitting there judging everybody else, like, what do you think happens when you walk out the door? All right, unfortunately, right? And the truth is, that's really about them and their own insecurities, okay? So loyal, smart, especially if you're a very intellectual person, I think that it's important to have somebody that's up to par with you, somebody you have fun with, somebody who let's see here, there's so many that are very, very important. Somebody who's going to be there no matter what, somebody who really cares about you and shows that. And I think breaking even down what that means to be caring for somebody who listens to you and pays attention. I've been out with friends before and they're just like on their phone, not even paying attention. I'm like, why am I even here? Like, your friends on Facebook, like, hey, like, I'm actually here in person. And so that's significant. I know we've kind of come into an era where everything is on social media, and here you're watching me on YouTube, but I want you to have a life that's full and relationships that are full and meaningful. So I really encourage you to take a look at this, and I know that doing this, I'm sorry, but it's going to make you take a look at the friends that you have, and you might find yourself wanting to shift away from that. Another one that I want to make sure I don't forget is, how do you feel when you're with them? How do you feel after you leave hanging out with them? Because if you're left feeling negative and kind of like just crappy, like, maybe you need to think about that. And another piece And especially I can attest to this because, you know, hey, I'm a therapist, so I love helping people, right? Well, I've gotten into relationships before that are really almost parasitic, meaning that instead of being a symbiotic, like we both gain from it, I'm being leached from. And it's easy for me to fall into that role, or it has been in the past because I've really worked on it, that I'm just kind of being sucked dry. And I want you to think about this. And I do this with my clients where I stand up on the couch and they stand below and we both pull, right? And so who do you think is gonna, like, is it gonna be easier for me to pull somebody up or to be pulled down? And the answer is it's easier to be pulled down. So we want you to pay attention to the people that you're hanging out with, because if they're making bad choices, they're in a dark place, like, I mean, and we all go through dark times. I'm not saying don't be friends with somebody who's going through a dark time. It's not about that. But it's about that fight to kind of get through it, to get past it, to heal, right? If you're hanging out, let's say I'll use this example, with somebody who's using drugs or drinking all the time. At first it may seem shocking and you might think to yourself, no way am I gonna do that. But after enough time, and you guys, I'm not just talking about teenagers, I'm even talking about adults. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you're hanging out with somebody who's always that's on the agenda, pretty soon you'll find that you start to do that, all right? And there's like that saying, you know, if you lay with the dogs, you're gonna get fleas. Obviously, if they don't have Frontline or some medication that they're using, but there's truth to that, okay? If you are hanging out with people who are making bad choices, who are just negative all the time, you need to take a look at that. It may be comfortable for you, that may be your comfort zone, but I really encourage you to make some changes. So that's part of this whole thing that I'm trying to create, this is to help people to make better choices, to live a happy and healthy life. So if you want to have a happy and healthy life, choose really good friends. Thank you so much.